and we ask ourselves, what is happening right now in our families? Why are we not producing godly offspring? Allow me to make a confession to all of you. I was able to ask the permission of my wife and my children to share my experience with them. In the past 30 years of being a father, I was convinced that I am a good father to my children. I worked hard as a medical doctor, and I was able to provide for them. As both their father and their pastor, I did my best to nurture them spiritually. I thought I was doing an excellent job as a father, but I was wrong. I did not know that my pride and my temper was getting in the way of having a healthy relationship with my children. Looking back, I saw that I have exasperated my children many times. I would fight for my authority. You're wrong, I'm right, because I'm your father. I believe I was always right in disciplining them. Little did I know what was truly going on in my children's hearts. I didn't know that they were slowly pulling away, that our relationship was already growing colder. This was especially true with my eldest son. My eldest son seldom talked to me about how he feels and how his day went. I thought maybe he was just being a normal guy who wasn't that expressive. We would have arguments and disagreements occasionally, which I felt was very normal in any relationship. So it did not bother me at all. But one day, my son exploded. We both fought with each other intensely, that my wife and my other kids had to step in and mediate. It was obvious that I have caused my son great pain, but at that moment, I couldn't accept my fault. I was unaware that my pride and temper was taking over me. That was a long, arduous night for the whole family. My wife insisted that it was time to finally face the problem, even if it would hurt my ego. For hours, the family sat and a long conversation ensued. It took more than an hour for me to realize my mistakes. As my son vented out his thoughts and feelings, God was gracious enough to break my heart and to show me that I was wrong. Believe me, I was still fighting against it. I didn't like that I was wrong. That moment was very humbling, as it was easier to start talking back and defend myself. My son was right. I did not know how to listen to him patiently. I was too prideful to admit my mistakes. That was when I realized I was slowly losing my son. At that moment, I was faced with a decision. Will I humble myself, or I let my pride completely destroy my relationship with my son? What matters more, my son or my pride? There was a silent gap. I did not know how long I was mulling over those hard questions. I couldn't move. My flesh was still insisting, I'm the father and I'm always right. Then I felt the move of God. Go embrace your son tightly and ask for his forgiveness. Oh, that was not easy for me. But I knew I had to make a choice to fight for, not with, my family, to choose my son over my pride. What happened after brought great relief to the whole family. My son embraced me back. There I received my son's forgiveness. And ultimately, that genuine embrace between a father and a son showed me God's mercy and forgiveness. That was the start of a new beginning for both my son and me.